So I'm so excited. We're making fried green tomatoes today. I live in North Carolina, and this is the perfect time of year to go out and pick all those green tomatoes. And we're going to start by making a really nice remoulade sauce for this. And I'm using a Creole powder that I made in a short of mine if you want to make your own, or you can just buy Creole powder for this as well. Thanks for watching my show today. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Dr. Jill, and I love to try to take these recipes and maybe cut out a little bit of the calories by reducing the fat. So today I'm going to make them in the air fryer. We're going to start with 1/2 cup of mayonnaise, which is a low-fat salad dressing mayo. This one has 40 calories per serving as opposed to 90. Then we're going to add 1/2 cup of fat-free or light sour cream. If you have trouble finding the fat-free in the store, you can go ahead and use the light sour cream. It has 20 calories per tablespoon. Then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of regular ketchup. One and a half tablespoons of yellow mustard. A tablespoon of lemon juice. And I'm going to do a clove of crushed garlic. I'm not going to chop this, I'm going to crush it because I really want to get that flavor of the garlic out of there. If you're not a huge fan of garlic, you can actually mince it up and you won't get as much garlic flavor. But when you crush it, you're going to get all of that flavor. So we're going to add 1 clove of garlic, a tablespoon of chopped dill pickles. You can use relish for this. I like the dill flavor. I'm also going to actually add a teaspoon of pickle juice to mine to give it that little dill flavor I like. And then lastly, I would say the most important ingredient, our Creole seasoning that we made the other day on the short. This is going to be just a 1/2 tablespoon to start. You can start with a little less of this Creole powder and add a little bit more as you go, depending on how much spiciness you want. So let's go ahead and blend this up. Looks like the perfect consistency to me. We're going to go ahead and give it a little taste to make sure it's exactly how we want it. I'm actually going to add another 1/2 tablespoon of that Creole blend. It's not as spicy as I thought it would be. Plus, I think it's going to make the color a little bit more vibrant as well. That's better. It's got a little bit more spiciness, but it's definitely not very hot still. It's going to be perfect for those fried green tomatoes. So we're going to build our dredging station here, but first I have to take my panko breadcrumbs, a 1/2 cup of panko, and we're going to actually put that in the little food processor and grind it up so it's actually very fine. I want to do that because it's going to blend better with the cornmeal that way. So we're going to do a 1/2 cup of panko. Just give it a quick whiz in the little food processor until it's about the same size as that cornmeal. And we're going to dump that in with the cornmeal. So we have a 1/4 cup of cornmeal and a 1/2 cup of panko. And the last thing we need for the breading is, of course, the favorite seasoning I just made, my Creole seasoning powder. You can use as much or as little of this as you want. It does have salt in it, so it's going to give some salty flavor. So I'm going to do about a tablespoon of that. We're going to just blend that up. And this is going to be the final step. In this bowl I have my beaten egg white. And then we have just our AP flour on a plate here. We're going to want to dice these into 1/4 inch thick slices. Most of these are medium-sized tomatoes. I did find this one huge tomato out in the garden, so I'm not sure if there's going to be room on the air fryer pan for that. Should get about 3 nice slices per small tomato. You can see this one's nice and pink, starting to get nice and pink inside. The green tomatoes don't have the lycopenes like red tomatoes do because lycopenes are in that red color of the tomato. You can see this one's starting to turn a little bit red. That's perfect. In my opinion, these are the perfect ones for fried green tomatoes when they have that little pink color on there. So I've got 3, 6. We're going to end up with 9. I think these are going to all fit on my pan too, so let's see what happens here. We have our station set up, our AP flour, all-purpose flour. We have an egg white, and then we have our mixture of panko that's been finely ground in the food processor along with some cornmeal and some of my Creole seasoning. So let's throw this together. So first we're going to go into the flour. then the egg white, then the panko breadcrumbs. You can do this with tongs if you want. I don't mind getting my hands messy. Before we put this down on the air fryer pan, we're going to spray one side of it lightly, flip it over, and then spray the top. And then we're going to just do that and go through all 9 of these. While you're doing this also, you can preheat that air fryer to about 350 degrees. I want to make sure these are coated nicely, so I'm going to toss them in here a couple times. That flour, that egg white really does help these to stick. I'm going to spray that and spray the other one. And then again, you can toss that breading on there. You can see how those are getting breaded. You might need to get a second egg white for this. The egg white is really what's helping this to stick. It's a perfect and quick, easy appetizer, even a meal if you're having a nice quick lunch. You can serve this with a little side salad, something with a little bit of meat and beans in there, so like a hearty beef vegetable soup would go good with this. Or chicken, white bean chicken chili, sounds good with some fried green tomatoes. That sounds like the perfect lunch to me. And we're doing this, like I said, in the air fryer, so we're not going to get all of that fat. I'm going to have the perfect amount of panko, I think, the panko mix on this. I don't like to waste things. If it's not too messy, you could put this in the freezer and save it for next time. We'll go back and double dip this one. Let's see if that makes that coating stick better. They don't have to look perfect. That's the good thing about this. You want them to look rustic, I think. The other option here, if you run out of egg whites, you can actually add a little bit of milk, almond milk or fat-free milk to this. That'll make the egg whites last a little longer, and you'll still have really good adhesion. And we're ready to throw these in the air fryer. We want to check on these at about the 10-minute mark, and at that point in time we can decide if we need to spray them a little bit more oil and flip them over and spray them again, or if they're going to have enough on there. But we want to make sure they're not still hard, but we don't want them to be too mushy either. So we have to keep watching these. So let's check and see where we're at. It's about the 7 or 8 minute mark. That breading's definitely staying on there very nicely. We're going to spray the other side as well, and then we're going to pop them back in the oven. So that was just perfect 15 minutes at 350 in the air fryer. I did spray both sides a second time in there at the halfway mark. And now all we have to do is serve them and see how they taste. Well, let's dive in. They're not too soggy and they're not oily, so you don't have a lot of calories in these, but I think we're going to have tremendous flavor. Let's find out. These are awesome. This is definitely my lunch today. Please be sure to subscribe if you like my channel and share with others. Thank you.